leading coefficient unity. A polynomial with leading coefficient unity. This unity means 1. A polynomial with leading coefficient unity, that is 1, is called a monic polynomial. A polynomial with leading coefficient unity, that is 1, is called as a monic polynomial. Please write down this. A polynomial with leading coefficient 1 is called as a monic polynomial. A polynomial with leading coefficient 1 is called as a monic polynomial. Or a quadratic with a leading coefficient 1 is called as a monic quadratic. Similarly, quadratic with leading coefficient 1 is called as monic quadratic. A polynomial with leading coefficient 1 is called as a monic polynomial. Similarly, a quadratic with the leading coefficient of 1 is called as a monic quadratic. Similarly, a quadratic with leading coefficient 1 is called as a monic quadratic. Next point. Have you written this? Yes. Next point. If alpha comma beta are the roots of, next point, if alpha comma beta, next point is, if alpha comma beta are the roots of, if alpha comma beta are the roots of ax square, if alpha comma beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If alpha comma beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If alpha comma beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then modulus of alpha minus beta, then modulus of alpha minus beta, that is difference between the roots, then modulus of alpha minus beta, which is the difference between the roots, modulus of alpha minus beta, which is the difference between the roots, this is nothing but root d by mod a. Right? Alpha comma beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then the difference between the roots alpha minus beta, modulus of alpha minus beta is root d by mod a. How? Alpha comma beta, this will be minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. The roots of the quadratic are of this form. Alpha comma beta will be minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So I'll take alpha minus beta. What will be this one? So this will be something like this. Minus b plus under root of this b square minus 4ac is nothing but discriminant. This d stands for discriminant. This d whatever I am taking, this d stands for discriminant. Now this will be minus b plus root d by 2a. Minus of this is minus b minus root d by 2a. Modulus of this. So I can write it as this is root d by mod a. Just as simple as it gets. Very simple. I am taking the roots of this one. The roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Already we know the roots as minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. I'm just taking the difference of the roots and you'll get it as root d by mod a, where root d, d is nothing but the discriminant. This d is nothing but discriminant. Where d is nothing but the discriminant of the quadratic. Someone asked discriminant. Okay, hope this is clear. Next. The condition, next point. The condition, please writing work, please make it fast. Writing work, please make it fast so that we'll move to problems. We'll finish off this a part of topic and we'll move to problems. because that will be enjoyable. The condition for the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The condition for the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The condition for the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 to be in the ratio of m is to n. The condition for the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 to be in the ratio of m is to n. To be in the ratio of m is to n means roots are of the ratio m is to n is mn b square is m plus n whole square into ac. The condition for the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 to be in the ratio of m is to n. To be in the ratio of m is to n is mn b square is m plus n whole square into ac. Is mn b square is m plus n whole square into ac. How do you get that? Very simple. So let's say I'll take ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. For this quadratic, whatever we are considering, let us take the roots are, they are in the ratio of m is to n. Roots are in the ratio of m is to n. So the roots, I'll take it as m alpha comma n alpha. The roots of this quadratic are in the ratio of m is to n. So what I'll take is that I'll take the roots of this one as m alpha comma n alpha. These are the roots. So from which you will get the ratio of these roots will be m is to n. Now simply what you do is that you try to apply the sum of the roots and the product of the roots result which you studied yesterday. You try to apply the sum of the roots and the product of the roots result which you have seen already yesterday. How do you see? So I'll take the sum of the roots, that is m alpha plus n alpha. So this is nothing but minus b by a. M alpha plus n alpha is minus b by a, which is the sum of the roots of this quadratic. Similarly, what will be the product of the roots? The product of the roots is m alpha into n alpha. This is nothing but your c by a. The sum of the roots is m alpha plus n alpha, that is minus b by a, and the product of the roots is m alpha into n alpha, that is nothing but c by a. Now here alpha is a quantity which you considered. Alpha అనేది అక్కడ క్వశ్చన్ లో ఇవ్వలేదు, మీరు కన్సిడర్ చేసుకున్నారు ఇక్కడ. Alpha is the quantity which you have considered. Whenever you are solving such problems, if you consider some parameter, this is called as parameter. This is called as parameter. Alpha can be 1, alpha can be 2, alpha can be 3, alpha can be 4, anything. This is called as a parameter. Alpha is called as a parameter. In solving such problems, you have to eliminate the parameters after writing the conditions. In solving such problems, the method is that you have to eliminate the parameters after writing the conditions. You have to eliminate the parameters after writing the conditions. అంటే కండిషన్స్ రాసి ఆ పారామీటర్ ని ఎలిమినేట్ చేయాలి. ఇక్కడ పారామీటర్ ఏంటి? వాట్ ఇస్ ద ఆల్ఫా? ఆల్ఫా ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇట్స్ అ పారామీటర్. You have to eliminate this parameter now. Simply you see mn alpha square, this is nothing but c by a. Now from this alpha, whatever you will be getting from this part, alpha is nothing but you'll get minus b by a into m plus n. From this part, what you will be getting is that you'll get alpha is equal to minus b by a into m plus n. Just substitute this alpha into this one. అంటే మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే ఆల్ఫాని ఎలిమినేట్ చేస్తున్నాం, అంతకు మించి ఏం చేయట్లేదు. We're not doing anything, we are just eliminating alpha. Just substitute here. Take this part and substitute here. So you'll get it as mn into minus b by a into m plus n whole square. This is nothing but c by a. So from this you'll get it as mn b square is m plus n whole square into ac. From this what you get is that you'll get mn b square is m plus n whole square into ac. Simply whenever you are solving such kind of problems, ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ సమ్ పారామీటర్స్, అంటే ఇలాంటి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ స్ట్రైట్ లైన్స్ అనే చాప్టర్ లో కూడా చేస్తారు, లోకస్ అనే ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ లో చేస్తారు. You will see a concept called as locus. You will see a concept called as locus. In that locus, what you try to do is that you will try to find a locus. You'll try to find a curve equation, or you'll try to find a locus. What you do is that you will take a parameter, అంటే ఒక పారామీటర్ తీసుకుంటారు, ఆ పారామీటర్ తీసుకొని కండిషన్స్ అన్ని సాటిస్ఫై చేసి దెన్ యూ విల్ ఎలిమినేట్ ద పారామీటర్. అంటే పారామీటర్ తీసుకొని కండిషన్ సాటిస్ఫై చేసి ఆ పారామీటర్ ని ఎలిమినేట్ చేస్తారు. దెన్ యూ విల్ గెట్ ద రిక్వైర్డ్ రిజల్ట్. Hope this is clear. mn b square is m plus n whole square into ac. This is your result when the roots of the quadratic are in the form of m is to n. When the roots of the quadratic are of the form m is to n, this is the required result. Hope this is clear. I'm showing the proof. Please do write. If someone is not writing, please do maintain your class notes. That's very, very important. Next. Right. So let's see some basic graph related to this, whatever the quadratic which I'm taking. Please try to listen about this basic graph. అంటే ఒక క్వాడ్రాటిక్ గ్రాఫ్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో లెట్స్ టాక్ అబౌట్ దట్ బేసిక్ గ్రాఫ్. రైట్, ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ వాట్ యూ రైట్ ఇస్ దట్ the shape of the quadratic 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 is a parabola. Right on. The shape of a quadratic is a parabola. The shape of the quadratic is a parabola. The shape of the quadratic is a parabola. Okay, now let's discuss this. Listen very, very carefully, because this will be helpful in your further things. If you want to solve problems with ease later on with help of graphs, these are the concepts which are going to help. Now, for example, if I take ax square plus bx plus c, if I take y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, if I want to draw a graph for something else, first what I'll take is that I'll take y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. Now I'll take, let alpha beta are roots of, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. I'll consider alpha comma beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. What I'll try to do is here is that I'll get something like this. Y is equal to, I'll get a into x square plus this is b by a into x plus c by a. అంటే ఈ రూట్స్ ఎలా అయితే కనుక్కుంటారో, there is a proof for finding the roots of this quadratic, and that is the procedure which we follow here. This is something like this. A into this, you'll get it as x square plus 2 into this is b by 2a into x plus b square by 4a square minus b square by 4a square plus c by a. I'll write something like this. A into x square plus 2 into b by 2a into x plus b square by 4a square minus b square by 4a square plus c by a, as if you are finding the roots of this equation. So what I'll do is that I'll write something like this. This is x plus this is b by 2a whole square. This part whatever I'm taking, this is nothing but x plus b by 2a whole square, like a plus b whole square expansion, plus minus of, what I'll get is that I'll get it as minus b square minus of b square minus 4ac by 4a square. I'll get this. Y is a into x plus b by 2a whole square minus of b square minus 4ac by 4a square. ఇలా ఒక ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ వచ్చింది. Now, what I'll do is that I'll try to send this part this side. I'll try to send this part this side. So here I'll get it as y plus b square minus 4ac by 4a. ఈ part ని పంపించేస్తున్నా. Y plus b square minus 4ac by 4a. This value is what you get it as a into x plus b by 2a whole square. Y plus b square minus 4ac by 4a is x plus b by 2a, and this is nothing but y plus, what is b square minus 4ac? B square minus 4ac is discriminant. B square minus 4ac is nothing but it's the discriminant of that quadratic. This part is something like a into this is x plus b by 2a whole square. This is the final step which you got. Y plus d by 4a is a into x plus b by 2a whole square. Now, taking this into consideration, I'll take something like this. This y plus d by 4a, this y plus d by 4a, whatever I'm considering, ఈ y plus d by 4a ఏమనుకుంటానంటే capital Y అనుకుంటాను. I'll treat this as capital Y. I'll treat this as capital Y. I'll treat this entire thing as capital X. అంటే ఈ పార్ట్ ని మొత్తం capital Y అనుకుంటున్నాను, ఈ పార్ట్ మొత్తం capital X అనుకుంటున్నాను. So what you get is that you'll get something like y is equal to a into capital X square. You'll get some equation something like y is equal to a into capital X square. అంటే మీకు ఎలాంటి ఈక్వేషన్ వస్తుంది? You are getting some equation which is of the form y is equal to a into capital X square. Already we have discussed with respect to graph of the quadratic. How is y is equal to x square? Y is equal to x square is something like this. It's a parabola. Y is equal to x square is something like this. It's a parabola which we have already seen. This is whatever this is considered, this part whatever we are seeing, this is called as a general equation of a parabola. This part whatever we are seeing, this is called as a general equation of a parabola. Now the shape of this one, parabola may be something like this, or parabola may be something like this. And axis తీసుకుంటే, if I take some axis, parabola may be like this or parabola may be like this. If I take the axis, parabola may be like this and parabola may be like this. This is called as orientation. This is orientation. Parabola ఇలా అయినా ఉండొచ్చు లేదా ఇలా అయినా ఉండొచ్చు. The orientation of this parabola whatever we are taking, that depends on the value of the a. అంటే parabola ఇలా downward facing ఉందా లేదా upward facing ఉందా? Whether the parabola is a downward facing parabola or whether that parabola is an upward facing parabola, that depends upon this value of a. Whether parabola is downward facing or whether parabola is upward facing, that depends only on the value of a mainly. Mainly it depends upon the value of a. What is a? A is the coefficient of x square in the given quadratic, which is called as leading coefficient. అంటే ఇలాంటి పదం కూడా చూస్తుంటారు. Either you will see it as coefficient of highest degree term, దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే coefficient of highest degree term antaru. Either that is called as coefficient of highest degree term, or that is called as leading coefficient, or that is called as leading coefficient. This is called as coefficient of highest degree term or coefficient of or leading coefficient, or simply they'll call it as coefficient of x square. ఇలా అయినా ఉండొచ్చు క్వశ్చన్ లో, ఇలా అయినా ఉండొచ్చు లేదా ఇలా అయినా ఉండొచ్చు. Either that is coefficient of highest degree term, or it may be called as leading coefficient, or it may be called as coefficient of x square. So simply what we are getting from solving this quadratic, అంటే ఈ quadratic ని సాల్వ్ చేస్తే మనకి ఏమొస్తుందంటే we are getting something like y is equal to a into capital X square. We are just getting something like y is equal to a into capital X square. Hope you people are writing this. Please write it down. Please write it down. As I say, please write it down. so that we'll move forward, because this will be of much use later on. Tarvata ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ చాలా యూజ్ అవుతాయి చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ లో. ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ డ్రా ది గ్రాఫ్ ఫర్ దట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్, ఆన్సర్ విల్ బి కంప్లీటెడ్ విత్ ఇన్ ఫ్యూ లైన్స్. సో గ్రాఫికల్ టెక్నిక్స్ ఆర్ very very important, and this is the starting for the graph of quadratic. This is just the starting for the graph of quadratic. Please do write down this. Keep on writing this. So you don't do any designs in your writing notes. You're not interested in designs. Only if you, whatever you wrote, if you can understand that, it's fine. I mean to say that don't make it as some designs and everything, and don't make it late by writing the notes. Simply what you do is that you try to write it down. If you can understand that, it's fine. Okay. Y plus d by 4a is a into x plus b by 2a whole square, and this y is equal to a capital X square. This is the general equation for a parabola. Right? So this is y is equal to x square, which is the general equation for the parabola. Hope you have written this. I'll erase this top part. I'll erase this part. This is what we got. That is y plus d by 4a is a into x plus b by 2a whole square. See, if you are not able to write it very fastly, please try to write. If you are not able to write it very fastly, take a screenshot of it, and later on after the class you may write it down. Okay. Now this is the parabola which you got. Y plus d by 4a is x plus b by 2a whole square. Generally, if a is greater than 0, if a is greater than 0, what is a? A is the leading coefficient. A is the leading coefficient. A is the leading coefficient. If a is greater than 0, the parabola looks something like this. The parabola looks something like this. This is called as upward facing parabola. If a is greater than 0, the parabola looks like this. The parabola looks like this. This is called as upward facing parabola. This is called as upward facing parabola. Next, if a is less than 0, if a is less than 0, the shape of the parabola looks something like this. If a is less than 0, the shape of the parabola looks like this. This is called as downward facing parabola. This is called as downward facing parabola. And a greater than 0, it will be an upward facing parabola. If a is less than 0, it will be a downward facing parabola. If a is less than 0, it will be a downward facing parabola. So what if a is greater than 0? What if a is greater than 0? In calculus terms, అంటే మీరు తర్వాత calculus నేర్చుకుంటారు. Calculus terms, this is also called as concave upwards. In calculus terms, తర్వాత మీరు calculus నేర్చుకుంటారు. ఆ calculus terms లో whatever this graph which you are taking, that graph will be called as concave upwards. This shape is called as concave upwards. Now this shape whatever you are taking, this is called as concave downwards. ఇలాంటి పేరు కూడా వింటారు. It may be called as concave upwards, and this is called as concave downwards. Now someone is asking, sir, what if a is equal to 0? If a is equal to 0, that becomes a straight line. That doesn't become a quadratic. If a is equal to 0, it becomes a straight line. It doesn't become a quadratic. That's the concept. So here it is concave upwards and here it is concave downwards. Hope this is very clear. Now let's move forward. Have you written this? Concave a greater than 0, shape will be like this. This is a concave upward shape. If a is less than 0, that is a concave downward shape. Now if I consider some parabola, let's say if I consider some parabola like this, this point, this tip, which you have a tip. For example, if I take a parabola like this, there is a parabola, right? Like this, there is a parabola. This tip, whatever you are getting, this tip, this point, this is called as vertex of parabola. If I taking some parabola like this tip, whatever you are getting here, that is called as vertex of parabola. How do you get vertex of parabola? Very simple. To get vertex of parabola, to get vertex of parabola, to get the vertex of the parabola, x coordinate, for getting x coordinate, equate capital X to 0. To get x coordinate, equate capital X to 0. For getting y coordinate, equate capital Y to 0. And the vertex of the parabola kanukovali ante, for getting x coordinate, equate capital X to 0. And for getting y coordinate, you equate capital Y to 0. So this is your capital X and this is your capital Y. What is capital Y? Capital Y is y plus d by 4a. Capital Y is y plus d by 4a. Capital X is x plus b by 2a. So what is the x coordinate which you get? It means that you'll get x plus b by 2a. This will be equal to 0. You'll get x plus b by 2a is equal to 0. So whatever you will be getting, that is x is equal to minus b by 2a. Equate capital X to 0. So you'll be getting x coordinate of the vertex, and x coordinate of vertex kavali ante capital X ni 0 ki equal cheyandi. Y coordinate of the vertex kavali annappudu, equate capital Y to 0. So if I want to get this y coordinate, what is y coordinate here? Capital Y is nothing but y plus d by 4a. Capital Y is nothing but y plus d by 4a, and equate this part to 0. Y coordinate is y plus d by 4a, and equate this part to 0. So you'll get it as y is equal to minus d by 4a. Get y part to 0, so you'll get it as minus d by 4a. So if I take some parabola, so I hope this is clear. Whenever you want to find the vertex of the parabola, for getting x coordinate, after transformation, this is called as some transformation, and a perfect square form look marcharu. You convert it to some perfect square form. After doing that, equating x coordinate to 0, that will give you the x coordinate of the vertex. Equating y coordinate to 0, that will give you the y coordinate of the vertex. Now, so what will be this point now? What will be this tip now? This is a vertex of the parabola for ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. For the parabola ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. For this parabola, the vertex, whatever you will be getting, this is called as the vertex of the parabola. For the parabola, the vertex of the parabola is a point which is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. The vertex of the parabola will be minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. How? This is the procedure from which you are getting that. The vertex will be minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. This is very, very important. This thing you have to remember. Quadratic చూస్తే ఈ పదం గుర్తుండిపోవాలి మీకు. The vertex of this parabola or the vertex of a parabola ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. That is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. అంటే మీరు గ్రాఫ్ గీసినట్టు ట్రై చేస్తే ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ వర్టెక్స్ గుర్తుండాలి మీకు. This thing has to be remembered. I've shown you how that is coming, and this thing has to be remembered. If you remember this quadratic equations, this should be surely remembered. Please mark that. Please do mark that. Vertex is minus b by 2a comma minus d by 4a. Now let's try to understand. Okay, hope this is clear. Hope this is very clear. Now let us try to understand. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చెప్తున్నామంటే if discriminant is greater than 0, you are saying you are getting two roots, two real distinct roots. If discriminant is equal to 0, you are saying that you are getting real and equal roots. If discriminant is less than 0, you are saying they are imaginary roots. అదే చెప్తున్నాం కదా. If discriminant is greater than 0, you are saying it as real and distinct roots. If discriminant is equal to 0, you are saying that as real and equal roots. If discriminant is less than 0, you are saying that is what? That is complex roots or imaginary roots. Imaginary roots అని చెప్తుంటారు. Let's observe the same thing. Let's observe the same thing from the graph. Let's try to observe the same thing from the graph. అంటే గ్రాఫ్ నుండి మనం ఏదైతే కన్క్లూషన్స్ ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పుకున్నామో, whether they are true or not, let's try to observe from the graph. Listen, very important. Please listen this concept carefully, very carefully. Let's say first I'll say something like, I'll talk about a greater than 0. అంటే నేను a greater than 0 గురించి మాట్లాడతాను. a less than 0 will also be of the same kind. అంటే a less than 0 కి అనాలిసిస్ చేసినా కూడా మీరు సేమ్ గా వస్తుంది. For a greater than 0, only difference is that for a greater than 0 you'll get like this. For a less than 0 you'll get a graph like this. అంటే a greater than 0 తీసుకుంటే గ్రాఫ్ ఇలా ఉంటుంది, a less than 0 తీసుకుంటే గ్రాఫ్ అలా ఉంటుంది. Let's try to analyze the same thing from the graph. I'll consider sorry, just a minute. Is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? Okay, sorry. Okay. Now, if I take something like a greater than 0, okay. Now, if I take something like a greater than 0, the rough graph will be a concave upwards. The graph of that parabola will be concave upward. Now, what if in the first case, what if I take d is greater than 0? Now, what if I take d is greater than 0 in the first case? If I take, is my voice not audible? Is my voice audible? Fine. Okay, if d is greater than 0, now a is also greater than 0. Now let us try to observe this y coordinate. Let us please look carefully here. Let us try to observe this y coordinate. ఈ y coordinate గురించి మాట్లాడదాం. What is y coordinate here? Y coordinate is minus d by 4a. This is the y coordinate. Now this y coordinate, when d is greater than 0 and a is also greater than 0, and d greater than 0 in the a is also greater than 0. So what will be this y coordinate now? Y coordinate will be negative. Is it right? D is greater than 0 and also a is greater than 0. So this y coordinate will be negative. If y is negative, where that will be lying? If y is negative, where that graph will be lying? A y coordinate negative అనేది ఏ quadrant లో ఉంటుంది? Like simple coordinate geometry. For these two quadrants, y is positive for this quadrant. Y is negative for this quadrant. Simple coordinate geometry. In quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, y coordinate is negative. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ నెగటివ్ y axis కదా. This is positive y axis and this is negative y axis. For these two quadrants, the y coordinate, whatever you will be considering, that y coordinate will be negative. Now whenever y coordinate is negative, ఈ పాయింట్ ఎక్కడ ఉండాలి? Now try to observe this. Whenever y coordinate is negative, this point whatever you are considering, that point must lie on quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. అంటే y కోఆర్డినేట్ నెగటివ్ అయినప్పుడు ఈ పాయింట్ మీరు ఏదైతే తీసుకుంటున్నారో ఆ పాయింట్ థర్డ్ కోఆర్డినేట్ లో ఫోర్త్ కోఆర్డినేట్ లో ఉండాలి. మీన్స్ దట్ పాయింట్ మస్ట్ లై బిలో యువర్ x యాక్సిస్. ఇఫ్ y is negative, that point must lie below your x axis. రఫ్ గా ఇక్కడ ఉంది అనుకుందాం. Parabola will be like this. Let's say roughly the point is somewhere here. Let's say something it is like this. Point is somewhere here. Roughly the parabola looks like this. And the point ila untademo parabola ila undi anukundaam. Point ila unte parabola ila undi anukundaam. Now please write a note. Below that you write a note. The number of real solutions, please write a note. Very, very important note. Please try to write a note. The number of real solutions. The number of real solutions of any equation in x. The number of real solution of any equation in x. The number of real solutions of any equation in x. The number of real solutions of any equation in x is the number of times the number of real solutions of any equation in x is the number of times the graph of the equation intersects the real axis. Is the number of times the graph of the equation intersects the real axis. Is the number of times the graph of the equation intersects the real axis. In bracket, real axis means x axis. In bracket, real axis is x axis. రియల్ యాక్సిస్ మీన్స్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్. అంటే సింపుల్ గా ఈ పాయింట్ లో ఏం రాశారంటే ఒక ఈక్వేషన్ ఇచ్చారు. ఆ ఈక్వేషన్ ని ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లెట్స్ సే ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 అనే ఈక్వేషన్ ఇచ్చారు. What they gave you is that they gave you some equation something like this: ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. They gave you some equation something like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If they gave you this equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, they're asking that if this is an equation in x, అంటే ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ కి ఎన్ని నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ రియల్ సొల్యూషన్స్ ఉంటాయంటే ఎన్నిసార్లు ఈ గ్రాఫ్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ ని ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ అవుతుందో అన్ని సొల్యూషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. How many times the graph of this equation is intersecting the x-axis, that many solutions will be present. That is the point which you wrote. How many times the graph of that equation intersects the x-axis, that many solutions will be present. And for example, if d is greater than 0, you can observe here. ఇక్కడ అర్థం చేసుకోండి. d greater than 0 అయినప్పుడు ఈ y coordinate నెగటివ్ ఉంది. d greater than 0 ఉన్నప్పుడు y coordinate నెగటివ్ ఉంది. y coordinate నెగటివ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు as the y coordinate is negative, this vertex lies in third quadrant or fourth quadrant. As y coordinate is negative, vertex is below your x-axis. ఇప్పుడు vertex below your x-axis కి ఒక parabola గీయండి. ఏదో ఒక రఫ్ ప్లాట్ తీసుకోండి. ఇక్కడ తీసుకోండి. This is the vertex, let's say. You take a plot. Now how many times this is intersecting your x-axis? How many times this is intersecting your x-axis? It is intersecting the x-axis 2 times. It is intersecting this graph. ఏదైతే గ్రాఫ్ తీసుకున్నామో ఆ గ్రాఫ్ ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ ని 2 times intersect చేస్తుంది. So it means that these are the 2 roots. So you are getting 2 real and distinct roots. అంటే గ్రాఫ్ పాయింట్ లో తీసుకుంటే ఈ గ్రాఫ్ ఏదైతే తీసుకుంటున్నామో ఈ గ్రాఫ్ ఈ లైన్ ని ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ ని 2 డిఫరెంట్ పాయింట్స్ దగ్గర ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. దిస్ గ్రాఫ్ is intersecting this x axis at 2 different points. So we are writing it as 2 real, as they are these points are different, I'm writing it as distinct roots. We are writing it as 2 real distinct roots. Now ఇది కేస్ 1. ఇప్పుడు కేస్ 2 తీసుకోండి. That is if d is equal to 0. What if d is equal to 0? D is equal to 0. What is the y coordinate here? ఇప్పుడు d is equal to 0 అయినప్పుడు y coordinate ఏమవుతుంది? What is the y coordinate of the vertex? If d is equal to 0, y coordinate of the vertex is this is 0. Y coordinate 0. If y is equal to 0, where this point will be lying? అంటే ఒక కోఆర్డినేట్ ఉంది, సంథింగ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫార్మ్ x, 0. ఈ x, 0 on the point ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? It will lie on x axis, because for any point on the x axis the y coordinate is 0. For any point on the x axis the y coordinate is 0. Where this point will be lying on? This point will be lying on the x coordinate, x axis. అంటే గ్రాఫ్ ఏం చేయండి అంటే ఈ వర్టెక్స్ ఏదైతే ఉందో ఆ వర్టెక్స్ will be somewhere on the x axis. That vertex will be situated somewhere on the x axis. Let's say I'm drawing something like this. I'll draw something like this. This vertex, whatever you are taking, that vertex is situated on the x axis. Mari vertex x axis ki situate ayipoyinappudu you are getting a graph like this. This is for a greater than 0. For a greater than 0, you are getting a graph like this. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఒక రూట్ కనిపిస్తుంది మీకు. Something like, let's say a root is like appearing like alpha. A root is appearing like alpha. Can a single root exist for a quadratic? A quadratic must have 2 roots. Can a single real root exist for a quadratic? If there are imaginary roots, they exist in conjugate pairs. Complex roots aina kuda conjugate pairs lo exist avutayi. And this is a real root. There is a real value. This graph is touching this point. And the axis ni graph touch avutundi. And oka real value unnattu. As there is one real value, there will be 2 real values. As there is one real value, it means that there is 2 real values. What is happening? But where is other real value? See, I'm holding this graph. Ee graph ni ila pattukunnanu. Ila pike jarpukuntu vellanu. I'm holding this graph. I'm pulling this graph upward. I'm pulling this graph upward. What happens is that this root will be traveling towards this point. This root will also be traveling towards this point. అంటే ఇలా ఉంది. నెక్స్ట్ గ్రాఫ్ ఏం చేస్తా అంటే కొంచెం పైకి ఇలా జరిపాను. అంటే ఈ రూట్స్ చూడండి, ఇప్పుడు రూట్స్ మధ్య గ్యాప్ ఇంత ఉంది. The gap between the roots is this much. In next part the gap between the roots is this much. As I'm shifting this one upward, as I'm shifting this graph upward, these roots, whatever these roots are present, these roots are traveling towards each other. Ee root ila veltundi, ee root ila veltundi. These roots are traveling towards each other. In the final stage, what happens? Next diagram, I'll make like this. Ante ee rendu roots coincide oke point దగ్గర ఉన్నాయి. These both roots coincide at the same point. Now, so what we got is something like this. From this, d is equal to 0, you got 2 real and equal roots. From this, what you got is 2 real and equal roots. Endukante d equal to 0 ayinappudu I have shown you this one. This will be the graph. When d is equal to 0, this is the graph. Ante ee shape of the graphs are very very important. Ante chaala students confuse avutaru ikkada. Meer correct ga nerchukondi. If you have any further doubts after this, you may contact me after the class. You may contact me after the class after this. Right? Now, this is for d is equal to 0. Now, third case, what I'll take is that I'll take something like this. D is less than 0. Third case em cheppante d is less than 0 తీసుకున్నాం. What if d is less than 0? What is y coordinate? Y coordinate is minus d by 4a. Y coordinate is minus d by 4a. ఇప్పుడు ఈ d అనేది less than 0 అయింది అనుకోండి. So this is positive, a greater than 0 and d is less than 0. What is y coordinate? Y coordinate is positive. D less than 0 తీసుకుంటే y coordinate positive వచ్చింది. What if y coordinate is positive? అంటే if y coordinate is positive, it must lie in one of these part. Means for first quadrant or for second quadrant, the y coordinate is positive. For first or second quadrant, y coordinate is positive. అంటే y coordinate పాజిటివ్ అయింది కాబట్టి ఈ వర్టెక్స్ అనేది ఫస్ట్ క్వాడ్రంట్ లేకపోతే సెకండ్ క్వాడ్రంట్ లో ఉండాలి, somewhere here. This graph is never intersecting x axis. ఈ గ్రాఫ్ అనేది x axis ని ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ చేయట్లేదు. This graph is never intersecting x axis. So I'll write no real roots. This graph is not intersecting the x axis. So I'll say no real roots. అంటే మీరు గ్రాఫ్ నుండి ఇలా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. From the graph you can learn in the same way. Someone say please explain this again. D is less than 0. When D is less than 0, this is negative. Negative into negative is positive and A is positive already. So this entire quantity is positive. For y coordinate positive ఉన్నప్పుడు a point should lie above your x axis. When y coordinate is positive, the point must lie above your x axis. అంటే పాయింట్ ఇక్కడైనా ఉండాలి లేదా పాయింట్ ఇక్కడైనా somewhere above your x axis. That is in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. It must lie in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. As y coordinate is positive. Oh no, this is the vertex. You construct a parabola. ఇది వర్టెక్స్ అయింది, పారాబోలా కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయండి రఫ్ గా. ఇప్పుడు ఈ పారాబోలా అనేది x axis ని ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ చేయట్లేదు. This parabola is never intersecting the x axis. This parabola is never intersecting the x axis. So what happens? As this is never intersecting x axis, there is no real root. X axis intersect చేయట్లేదు కాబట్టి రూట్ లేదు. That is what the statement which you wrote, right? Hope this is clear. Note, next note you write down. Note, for the parabola, please write down. For the parabola ax square plus bx plus c is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. For the parabola y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. For the parabola y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. If a is greater than 0, shape is concave upward. For the parabola y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. If a is greater than 0, it is concave upward. If a is greater than 0, it is concave upward. If a is less than 0, if a is greater than 0, it is concave upward. If a is less than 0, it is concave downward. It is concave downward. Shape will be concave downward. Up, down. Now, vertex is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. For this parabola, the vertex is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. For this parabola, the vertex is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. Right? No. Okay. Hope this is clear. Next, one more point you write down, and then we'll move forward to problems. Just write one more problem. Next point. Whatever you are going to write now is also very important. And this is about the graph. More about the graph, we'll be studying about this graph or problems related to this graph in further chapter. అంటే చాప్టర్ లోకి వెళ్తుంటే మళ్ళీ గ్రాఫ్స్ ని మళ్ళీ టచ్ చేస్తూ చెప్తాను. This is about basics of graphs. This is about the basics of graphs of parabola. This is just about the basics of the graphs of the parabola. Now, one more point which I want to highlight. I want to highlight one more point here. For this parabola, let's say a is greater than 0. What is this point? This point is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. If a is greater than 0, this point is minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. Now, what will be this y value? This y value. And this x value kada. For example, if I take some point, this is x. Let's say this is y. join a line like this, join a line like this. This point will be x comma y. అంటే ఒక లైన్ తీసుకుంటే ఈ డిస్టెన్స్ x అయినప్పుడు you draw a vertical line like this. This distance is y, you draw a horizontal line this. ఈ రెండు లైన్స్, ఈ రెండు హారిజాంటల్ వర్టికల్ లైన్స్ ఎక్కడైతే ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ అవుతుందో, ఈ రెండు లైన్స్ ఎక్కడైతే ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ అవుతుందో అదే పాయింట్ x comma y. That point is your x comma y. Similarly, this is minus b by 2a, this is minus d by 2a. అంటే what is this y value now? What is this y value? This y value is minus d by 4a. ఈ y కి ఏదైతే వాల్యూ ఉందో ఆ y value minus d by 4a. This y value, whatever you are taking, that y value is minus d by 4a. ఇప్పుడు ఈ పారాబోలా చూసారు. Now listen very carefully. You have seen this parabola. There is some point like this. You have seen this parabola. There is some point like this. You have seen some parabola and there is some point like this. Now this point is the minimum most point. This point, whatever you are taking, that point is the lowest point. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ పారాబోలా ఇలా తీసుకుంటే ఈ పాయింట్ కింద ఇంకొక పాయింట్ లేదు ఆ గ్రాఫ్ లో. If I take some parabola like this, there is no point below this point in the graph. There is no point below this point in the graph. So this is the minimum most point in the graph. When a greater than 0, write down. In a parabola, please write down this. This is very, very important. And the tarvata range of the quadratic kanukunepudu, this will be very, very helpful. This statement will be very, very helpful. In a parabola, ax square plus bx plus c. In a parabola, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. In a parabola, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. In a parabola, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. If a greater than 0, in a parabola, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. If a is greater than 0, the vertex is the minimum most point. For a parabola, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. If a is greater than 0, for a parabola, y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. If a is greater than 0, the vertex is the minimum most point. The vertex is the minimum most point. The vertex is the minimum most point, and the minimum value of the minimum value of the quadratic expression, and the minimum value of the quadratic is minus d by 4a. And the minimum value of the quadratic is minus d by 4a. Minimum value of the quadratic is minus d by 4a. The meaning student, let's try to understand the meaning. ఇప్పుడు ఇది minimum most point అయినప్పుడు, if this is the minimum most point, this is the lowest value. అంటే ఈ quadratic ఏదైతే వాల్యూ తీసుకుంటుందో, whatever the value this quadratic is taking, to that value this minus d by 4a will be the minimum most value. అంటే quadratic అంతకంటే తక్కువ వాల్యూ అయితే తీసుకోలేదు. The quadratic cannot take a value which is less than this. A quadratic cannot take a value which is less than this. ఇదే lowest value, because this is the lowest point. Lowest point దగ్గర వచ్చేది lowest value. అంతకు మించి కింద గ్రాఫ్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదు. There is no graph which is existing below this. So I cannot take this into consideration. So the minimum value in such a case is minus d by 4a. Minus d by 4a అనేది minimum value. Minimum value is minus d by 4a, and the maximum value tends to infinity. Abhishek, maximum value tends to infinity. Okay, next, this is okay. Now second point, next point, this is what we have seen is for a greater than 0. మనం ఎక్కడ చూసాం, we have seen this graph for a greater than 0. We have seen this graph for a greater than 0. Now, for a less than 0, write down please. Make it fast, then we'll solve problems. At least 10 problems we'll solve. For a less than 0, the vertex, for a less than 0, the vertex is the maximum most point. For a greater than 0, for a less than 0, the vertex is the maximum most point. You see, for a less than 0, the graph is like this. For a less than 0, the graph is like this, downward facing parabola. This is concave downward. For a less than 0, the graph is like this. Now this is again minus b by 2a, comma minus d by 4a. For a less than 0, the vertex is the maximum most point. అంతే కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఈ గ్రాఫ్ లో ఏదైతే ఉందో, ఈ గ్రాఫ్ లో ఈ పాయింట్ కంటే ఇంకొక పాయింట్ పైన లేదు. In that graph, there is no point above this. So this vertex is the maximum most point and the maximum value in such a case. Right? For a less than 0, the vertex is the maximum most point. For a less than 0, the vertex is the maximum most point, and the maximum value is minus d by 4a. And the maximum value is minus d by 4a. ఈ కేసులో maximum value minus d by 4a అవుతుంది. What is the minimum value now? In this case, the maximum value, అంటే ఈ highest point కాబట్టి ఈ highest point దగ్గర ఏదైతే వాల్యూ వస్తుందో అదే maximum value. Now what is the minimum value? Minimum value tends to minus infinity. Right? And the minimum value in this case tends to minus infinity. And the minimum value in this case tends to minus infinity. And the minimum value in this case tends to minus infinity. Graph నుండి అర్థం అయిపోతుంది ఇక్కడ, because this graph extends up to infinity. This is understandable from this graph. Hope this is very clear. Next. Okay, now let's solve some problems. Then again we'll discuss about this graph extensively tomorrow. Now let's solve some problems. Let's solve some problems. Time is half minute again for each problem. You have to tell me, you have to revert back me by half minute again. Next, right. I'll give the question. Time is half minute for every question. Okay. See, you have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge yourself to be very time efficient. అంటే మిమ్మల్ని మీరు ఛాలెంజ్ చేసుకోండి. You challenge yourself so that you try to complete the problem within less time. Don't take more time for a problem. You challenge yourself to complete the problem in less time. Okay. Now, find a quadratic. First question is this: find a quadratic whose one root is 2 plus root 3. Make it fast. Time is half minute. Find a quadratic whose one root is 2 plus root 3. And leading coefficient 1. First question is this: find the quadratic whose one root is 2 plus root 3 and leading coefficient 1. Find the quadratic whose one root is 2 plus root 3 and the leading coefficient is 1. Time is half minute. X square minus 4 x square minus 4x plus 1. Very good. Very good, Akram. Next. I want more answers. See, you challenge yourself. Don't lag your mathematics. Mathematics, your pen has to flow. You have to be so fast in doing the calculations. Then you can be managing your time well, and it will be much easy for you in physics also. Find the quadratic whose one root is 2 plus root 3. Now, listen. As we have discussed, irrational roots exist in conjugate pairs. Conjugate surds, I'll write exist as conjugate surds. I'll write something like this. Irrational roots exist as conjugate surds. It means that if 2 plus root 3 is a root, then obviously 2 minus root 3 will also be a root. It means that if a plus root b is a root, then a minus root b will also be a root. A plus root b oka root avute, a minus root b oka root avvali kachithanga, because they exist as conjugate surds. So a plus root b and a minus root b. In 9th standard you might have studied surds. Surds as a topic 9th standard lo నేర్చుకొని ఉంటారు. A plus root b and a minus root b, these will be conjugate surds. They exist as conjugate surds. So if 2 plus root 3 is a root and 2 minus root 3 will be a root again. So what will be the sum of the roots? Sum of the roots is 4. 2 plus root 3 plus 2 minus root 3. The sum of the roots is 4. And what is the product of the roots? Product of the roots is 2 plus root 3 into 2 minus root 3. This will be 1. So your quadratic will be x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots is 0. And a quadratic ila rastaru eppudaina kuda x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. So what is sum? So x square minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Your solution for this is x square plus 4x minus 1 is equal to 0. X square minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Very good. Excellent, excellent. So many of you have answered. So concept is this: irrational roots exist as conjugate surds. Irrational roots exist as conjugate surds. First, let's start from basics and then we'll go to high level. First, let's start from basics and we'll cover every model and we'll go to higher level. If that is done in an order, then only your problems or then only your subject will be so stable. Okay, next. Next. This is okay? I hope this is clear. There's nothing. If you are not able to write within the time, please take a screenshot. Hope this is clear. Next. Solve x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3 into x minus 4 is equal to 3. Next question. Solve x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4 is equal to 3. Make it fast. Solve x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4 is equal to 3. Solve x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4 is equal to 3. Make it fast. Solve x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3 into x minus 4 is equal to 3. Listen now. See, I'm not giving you much time today because already time is near to finish. That is, class is near to finish. So let's teach me few models today, and tomorrow I'll give you more time to solve. Okay. Now listen. Whenever such a problem is given, you group these two things generally. You group these two things. Whenever such a problem is given, you group these two things and you group these two things. It looks something like this. So if I group these two things, what do you get? You will get x square minus 5x plus 4. multiplication of first and last. Multiplication of first and last, I'll get it as x square minus 5x plus 4. And multiplication of these two things, I'll get it as x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 3. Grouping this one and this one, I'll get x square minus 5x plus 4. And grouping these two things, I'll get x square minus 5x plus 6. What you take is that you take x square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to t. You take x square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to t. So what do you get? You'll get t into t plus 2 is equal to 3. You take x square plus minus 5x plus 4 is equal to t. E part is t ankondi. What will be this now? This will be t plus 2. So you'll get t into t plus 2 is equal to 3. So you'll get it as t square plus 2t minus 3 is equal to 0. So this is t plus 3 into t minus 1 is equal to 0. T square plus 2, 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. So this is t plus 3 into t minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, whenever I take this into consideration, so t is equal to minus 3 or t is equal to 1. T is equal to minus 3 or t is equal to 1. Now what if t is equal to minus 3? So I'll take x square minus 5x plus 4. First is minus 3. I'll take x square. First case, I'll take it as x square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to minus 3. So you'll get it as x square minus 5x plus 7 is equal to 0. You'll get x square minus 5x plus 7 is equal to 0. Now here the discriminant is less than 0. For this part, the discriminant is less than 0. ఈ quadratic తీసుకుంటే ఈ quadratic లో discriminant అనేది less than 0 అయింది. Here the discriminant is less than 0. As discriminant is less than 0, in this case there are no real roots. As the discriminant is less than 0, in this case you will not have any real roots. Next. Now, what if I take t is equal to 1? If I take t is equal to 1, you will get x square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 1. You get x square minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 1. So x square minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. You'll get x square minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. So what are the roots? Alpha comma beta here will be 5 plus or minus under root of 25 minus 12 by 2. So you'll get it as, you'll get this part as roots will be 5 plus or minus root 13 as I guess divided by 2. So these are the roots for that equation. The roots for that equation will be 5 plus or minus root 13 by 2. అంటే ఏదైతే ఎక్కడైతే రియల్ రూట్స్ రాలేదో ఆ రియల్ రూట్స్ రాని ఎక్స్క్లూడ్ చేసేసేయాలి. ప్లీజ్ టేక్ ఎ స్క్రీన్ షాట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. I don't have much time. Please take a screenshot of this. Please do take a screenshot of this. Then later on after the class you can write. Take a screenshot of this. Next. Next. Hope this is very clear. One more problem. Yesterday we have seen a concept. Whenever such a problem is given, concept is that ఇలా x square minus 5x, ఇలా x square minus 5x. You try to make these two terms same. ఇలా factors ఇచ్చినప్పుడు the process is this. Whenever such a factors are given, you try to make these two terms same. It means that x square minus 5x, x square minus 5x. The process is that you have to use your intelligence to make these two terms same. Then it will be converted to quadratic. అది very simple. సో మీరు ఏమి ఇచ్చినా కూడా ఇలా క్వాడ్రాటిక్ ఫామ్ లో కన్వర్ట్ చేయడానికి ఫస్ట్ రెండు టర్మ్స్ సేమ్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. దట్ ఈస్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్. నెక్స్ట్. ఫర్ వాట్ వాల్యూస్ ఆఫ్ p, the equation, this is equation p cube minus 3p square plus 2p into x square plus p cube minus p into x plus p cube plus 3p square plus p into x is equal to 0. For what values of p? The equation p cube minus 3p square plus 2p into x square plus p cube minus p into x plus p cube plus 3p square plus p into plus p cube minus 3 plus 3p square plus p is equal to 0 has one root at infinity, both roots tend to infinity, third is identity. The questions are this: for what values of p, the equation p cube minus 3p square plus 2p into x square plus p cube minus p into x plus p cube plus 3p square plus p is equal to 0 has one root at infinity, both the roots tend to infinity, and is an identity. There are three questions in this. There are mainly three questions in this. Yesterday we have seen these conditions already. Yesterday we have seen a condition in this already. And in process lo conditions chusam ninna. See, please, whenever I am giving you some synopsis before the class, once you go through that synopsis, it will be very, very beneficial in getting an idea regarding a problem. అంటే ప్రతి క్లాస్ అలానే చేయండి. మ్యాథ్స్ ఆర్ ఫిజిక్స్ ఎలా అయినా కూడా మీకు సినాప్సిస్ చెప్తే, నోట్స్ చెప్తే క్లాస్ ముందు ఒకసారి ఆ నోట్స్ చూడండి. చూసినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే మీకు ప్రాబ్లం చేయడానికి ఐడియా వస్తుంది. You'll get idea to solve the problem. Now let me solve this. Now first condition is that one root at infinity. I'll make this part. First is one root infinity. Listen carefully. One root at infinity. If one root is at infinity, I told you a must be 0, b must not be 0. For one root at infinity, what we have done in this problem, what we have done regarding that problem, what we have done is that we put a is equal to 1, we put x is equal to 1 by y. Ila chesam ninna. I took x is equal to 1 by y. As x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. We have solved like this. As x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. As x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. So when one root is infinity, a must be equal to 0 and b must not be equal to 0. So you see, p cube minus 3p square plus 2p is equal to 0. So p into p minus 1 into p minus 2 is equal to 0. So you'll get p is equal to 0, comma 1, comma 2. Now next point what you have to get is here is this p cube minus p must not be equal to 0. p cube minus p must not be equal to 0. A okkati matrame 0 avali. For getting one root at infinity, only a value must be equal to 0. So you'll get it as p into p plus 1 into p minus 1 is equal to 0. Right? As p is equal to 0, comma 1, comma 2. Here you'll get p is equal to 0, p is equal to minus 1, p is equal to 1. Here you'll get p is equal to 0, p is equal to minus 1, and p is equal to 1. Ippudu p must not be equal to 0, p must not be equal to minus 1, and p must not be equal to 1. As this is not equal to 0. It's not equal to 0 kabatti idi condition ravali. So what is the final value which you get? Only this must be satisfied. As only this must be satisfied, your first answer will be p is equal to 2. The first answer in this case will be p equal to 2. Next case, both roots infinity. Next case is something like both roots tends to infinity. As both roots tend to infinity, so a must be 0 and b must be 0. అంటే both roots infinity అన్నప్పుడు నిన్న మళ్ళీ చెప్పుకున్నాం ఈ కండిషన్. I think I have taught you this condition. Both a and b must be 0. A must be 0 as well as b must be 0. So in this case, what do you get? As a is 0 and b is 0, as both roots are infinity, so I'll get it as p into p minus 1 into p minus 2 is equal to 0 from the previous case, and p into p plus 1 into p minus 1 is also equal to 0. రెండిటికి కామన్ గా ఉన్న వాల్యూస్ తీసుకోవాలి. So this must be 0 and this must be 0, and this c must not be 0 in this case. ఇవి రెండు 0 అవ్వాలి, కానీ c 0 అవ్వకూడదు ఈ కేసులో. If c is equal to 0 in this case, ఇది కండిషన్. what happens if c is equal to 0? C is equal to 0 అయితే identity అవుతుంది. If c is equal to 0, that value becomes an identity. That will not become like both roots infinity. A 0 అవ్వాలి, b 0 అవ్వాలి, c should not be equal to 0. That is the condition yesterday which we have discussed. So p into p minus 1, c is not equal to 0. So p is not equal to 0. ఈ కండిషన్ రావాలి. సో మా కామన్ గా వచ్చే కండిషన్ ఏంటి? సో p is equal to 1 is the commonly obtained condition. P is equal to 1 will be the commonly obtained condition. Means a must be 0. ఇది 0 అవ్వాలి, ఈ పార్ట్ 0 అవ్వాలి, ఈ c ఏదైతే పార్ట్ ఉందో ఆ c అనే పార్ట్ 0 అవ్వకూడదు. Now what about third part? What about third part is identity. Third part is identity. Identity అవ్వాలన్నప్పుడు a is 0, b is 0 and c is 0. For identity a is 0, b is 0 and c is 0. So అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? If a is 0, this part is 0, this part is 0, this part is 0. మూడు simultaneous గా satisfy అవ్వాలి. All three must be satisfied simultaneously. So for that answer will be p is equal to 0. You can check.